Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. It's Tuesday, I think. Yeah, it's Tuesday. And I'm mixing a punk rock record. So I figured I'd, let you guys sit in on it if you like, Connect with each other, network, ask questions, watch me mix plugins I use, my process, etc. So I've already kind of gotten the drums, bass, guitars all popped in into this, and I'm starting to sort of get levels through my master bus. And yeah, I'm just switching some stuff out, but I'll play you a little snippet of the track so far. Okay, vocals aren't in yet. Vocals are actually the next thing I'm going to pop in. I just basically put the drums in, the bass. I'm using, different stuff on and off. I'm turning plugins on and off. I'm trying to get levels right. So far, things are sounding good, but I don't want to start to make the guitars cut too much without getting the lead vocal in first, stuff like that. So a little organization. I got my guitars here. These are both rhythm. And then I got a bass here, and I got room mics 1 and 2 on drums. I got a snare bottom, snare top, and snare double. So this one's kind of like more punchy. And then I got a kick 1 and 2, kind of kick in and out sort of vibe. And here's the mix reference. I'll play you the reference and what we're trying to beat here. So I'm going to beat the crap out of that, right? Because it just doesn't have punch. It doesn't have definition. It's a lot of top end. It sounds really filtered to me. There's a lot of issues with that reference mix that, I get the vibe. I get the idea. I grew up on skate rock, face to face, no effects, punk shit, fast shit. So, this stuff is like, it's like in my blood, This hip hop, hardcore, pop music, it's all in my blood, man. Let's go. All right, so the reference is, it's kind of like papery. I don't like it. Doesn't sound good. So far, I got a lot more punch. I feel like a lot more definition in the drums. And that feels like, with punk rock, hardcore, rock and roll, anything that's going to be acoustic drum heavy, you got to make the space and set the space with the drum kit. You feel me? So it's really important that the drum kit is the space. Hopefully that makes sense. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to open up the drum kit and the space even more by taking all the drums, going to the drum mix bus or, the drum master bus, which I'll probably import is another bus that I like to use, which is a chain. But on here, I just have, on the drum mix, I have an API 2500. It's really, really light. It's probably just tickling, 1, 2 dB, something like that. And then I got a Pro Q3, just kind of cleaning up a little bit, okay? I'm not doing anything special here. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send this to a new track, the drum mix bus. And I'm going to call this drum room. Okay? What's up, Mehdi? How you doing, man? All right, and I'm going to go bam. And now I got a drum room bus, okay? I'm going to send 100% to this drum room. I'm going to solo safe it, and I'm going to take a room plugin. It doesn't matter what room you're using. There's a lot of different room plugins. You could even use something like Altiverb, right? And find a studio room or something. But what I'm going to use is the UAD Ocean Way Studios room because I really like this room. I think it sounds really good. I think it's really good for drums as well. So Ocean Way Studios, this is going to be a send from the drum mix bus to send to that drum room, which will kind of give me a pseudo, like my own drum room kind of blend, right? So if I want a bigger room than what they, like if they don't have it in the mics, for example, like if I check these mics of the drum rooms, I'm not getting the sound of a drum room that I really like. Okay, so here's drum room 1 and 2 mics. So this right here to me sounds more like a vibe mic, right? Like it's super kind of distorted. Actually, like right away in my head, for this kind of vibe, I'm gonna go in here and I'm just gonna really fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go in and I'm going to smash it to death and I'm going to beat it up. Okay, so I'll show you how I do that. And then I'm going to blend that back into the drum kit sound because I feel like that'll just give it more aggression. It'll give it more of that like, fuck yeah, you know? And that's what this kind of music needs. It needs that, fuck yeah, let's go, you know? I mean, he's like yelling, yo, you know, he's like, he's getting it. So that's what we got to do. We got to make sure that anytime we mix a record, like, we're getting the ideas across. You know what I mean? You got to find that taste. That's what mixing is all about. You got to beat it up. So it's all about, baby. So see, we got like a room, right? We can say subtle dynamic control, or we could say like, let's just smash the shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? So let's smack it. All right, this attack, you got to be careful with this when you're smashing shit, because if you go really slow on the attack, it's going to be really punchy, right? Yo, what's up, Medi? We got Constantine. We got Jeff, the producer. What's up, guys? Hey, happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm just talking while I'm mixing. All right, so now I'm just gonna smash the shit out of this thing, and then I'm going to probably even throw some distortion on it. So I'll show you how you do that. Okay, so that's pretty smashed up. Let's take this and see if we can like, yeah, it's pretty smashed. But let's go a little bit harder even. Let's go punch. I just want like a little bit of the attack to come through. Really, I'm trying to smash the crap out of it, right? And then you want this on fast or you want it on auto because it's going so fast. You know? So we got to be able to just like let the thing just smash it. But also it's like pumping. Like we want the pulse of the rhythm. Okay, so that's pretty smashed up. Smashed to death. Now, to get a little more gain out of it and also just to get more vibe out of it, I'm going to throw this Saturn plugin on here. I mean, you can use anything for this, you know, anything distortion, heavy. But for me, I feel like I want to use something that's going to be basically made for distortion. So let's go to Fab Filter and go to Saturn. Saturn 2 is really dope. And I can even use like the bands. I can go, okay, I just want to use this kind of mid-range area, and this is where I want to really drive. And we can use, let's say, like a transformer, like a warm transformer, or something like saturation, heavy saturation. You know, let's check it out. All right, now let's blend this into the mix, right? Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to see what we can get out of this. For now, I'm not going to play back the room mic that I'm making from the drum mix. So let's just go to the drum mix and bypass that real quick. I don't want to send anything to that new drum room. I'm trying to show you guys like the effects of the room mic here, because this is like a crush mic, you know what I mean? So we're going to blend this in and just listen to what happens with the drums. I think it makes them sound more realistic, right? Like, it's like hearing like drum programming and MIDI programming versus like a real drummer. And some of the distortion and stuff like helps it sound like a real drummer, right? I can also open this up. Like maybe I want to get a little more lows, a little more highs in here, but it's really got to be, you know what I mean? But yeah, just kind of let it figure out what you like best. Do you like the warm tape? Do you like the, you know, let's try a warm tube, see what that's. I think it's dope. It like thickens them out, makes the drums feel a lot more immediate, which is I think is really dope. Got a question here from Piercy Blue. Do you ever use routing folders? I just tried using them for the first time and I was getting weird latency through multiple instances of routing folders. No, not typically. I think you're actually like talking about Logic Pro and how it uses folders, but I don't do that in Pro Tools, and that's not something we typically do in Pro Tools. But yeah, I don't use routing folders. Constantine, did you try freezing some tracks? Yeah, Piercy, I think your issue with the latency might be because maybe you have plugins on your buses that are look-ahead plugins. Oversampling plugins, things like that, those will cause a lot of latency and issues. But definitely tap in. It's in the newer instances of Pro Tools. Yeah, I've never used, I don't know what that even is. I don't think I would find a reason to use that. Like, I don't even see how you do that. So you like what, select all these and then do like a folder. Yeah, I hate that stuff. I actually hate that in Logic too, because I like everything to be in front of me, you know? I don't want to like go through folders. If you want to show stuff and views and all that, you can make groups and you can make view pages and do all that. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have these presets that you can like do views. Like, oh, I'm going to do all my drums only, and then all my, you know, whatever only. I don't typically use that kind of stuff. It's not really imperative to me. I don't feel like, so it's not something I do much. So yeah, that's like the Room 2 mic. We're going to use that as a crush mic. And then this Room 1 mic, the thing I don't like about it is the frequency response on it. It just kind of sounds a little trashy. And I'm going to solo it here. Like, does not sound like a good, like, well mic'd up room. It feels like, yeah, the room's just kind of cheeseball, but the miking of the room doesn't sound very good either. So yeah, I did a lot of EQ, or not a lot, a little EQ here, just dipping out that 481 area, which builds up quite a bit and it gets kind of boxy. But for this, now I'm going to build my own room mic, which I think is more important. Excuse me. So I'm going to send this to its own room. Okay, so now we have this drum room that we're building out of the Ocean Way. I'm going to actually go here and I'm going to say, I don't want to mic up in the corner. I don't know, maybe we'll try this one first. And then I'm going to do a distance that's a little bit further. And I also like the M50 and I like the U67 on this. I think it's really good. We might need to filter out some low and some high. But so this is 100% wet. It's just the room. It's like a remic, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to send this to the drum room, and then we can blend in the drum room. And now we have like a second, drum room mic, and it might be actually way better, who knows? And we could totally like take this and go pre-fade or send on this. And then that way we can just like solo this out and hear what it sounds like, just full room. So this fader means nothing anymore. You could turn it all the way down. It's all pre-fade or send. And then we can blend in the drum room. Check it out. Interesting. You have to still turn the fader up even though it's pre-fader send. I don't know. That's weird shit. So this room mic sounds way better to me. I'm just going to put the kick and the snare in here. So just check this out. So you got to be careful of that, right? We're getting it like it's not far enough away. So let's try, it's not far enough away, but it's not close enough to be, it's just starting to get jumbled, right, with the room mic. So let's try like strings so we can get just a little bit further away. And let's up the distance all the way back, maybe 22 feet or something. And then I'm also going to just kind of bring down the low end in the room and bring down the high end in the room. So that looks like this, right? Just rolling the top and the bottom. That's something I do a lot with room mics, right? Because they get really boomy and they get really splashy. So there you go. So let's start to bring this in, and we might need to use the pre-delay knob. So see how it has a pre-delay knob? Might need to use that to dial in the right room tone. So just make sure you understand what all these parameters are for. So you start to hear those phase issues, right? You got to be really, really careful with the phase issues because we're sending to the drum room, right? So you might end up going, fuck that idea. Like, don't even send it to the drum room mic. Put it directly on the drum mix and then use the dry wet, okay? So this is going to be maybe a better way to do it to fake your drum mics, your room, right? So if you want a better room, like right out of Ocean Way, you can do this. You can turn off, you can go to reverb, you can turn off wet solo, and then you can blend this in. So let's check that out now. And of course, you're also going to get some weird playback issues because it's trying to do the math. It's like, dude, what the hell did you just do? You just threw off the math. Right. So just switch your buffer. That's all that is. It's a buffer error. Okay, let's blend this mic in and see what we can get out of this room. So see, I really like that because now we have this drum sound that's like, sounds more natural, sounds like more organic, like you tracked it in Ocean Way, you know what I mean? Rather than it sounding like it's coming from Superior Drummer. Okay, so let's take that, let's delete this room, drum room. We don't need it, doesn't work for it. And then also, I'm going to go to this other drum mic, the room mic here, and let's kill that. Not the vibe mic that we did, but the this drum room, because I'm not feeling this drum mic, this room mic. I mean, one thing I do like about it is it is kind of like bringing that that ka like that 1K to 3K area, kind of bringing the drums up a little bit, the stick area. So maybe I will keep it just to have it, but I'm going to leave it alone. And then I'm going to bypass these guys and the parallel compression on the room mics. We don't need any of that. This room 2 mic, I think I can hide and make inactive because there's absolutely nothing here. Okay. What do you got? What do you got, guys? Can you explain what look ahead does? Look ahead looks ahead at the information so that it can better track transient information. So look aheads are also going to typically cause some delay. Oversampling is typically what really causes delay. Like if you 2 times, 4 times, 8 times oversample, that's where you're going to get delay issues. So you only use oversampling on master buses, right? And then if you're going to use it on groups, like for example, these are going to mix groups. So let's say I got a drum mix group, right? And then I got a vocal mix group. And then I got instrument mix group. If you use oversampling, you have to oversample on every single one of those tracks the same amount. Or else, you know, because they have to delay together so that they all line up. Otherwise, you're going to have your drums hitting different times than your vocals, etc. Which soft clipper do you use for mastering? The SIR soft clipper is cool. I use that sometimes. I don't always soft clip, but when a track calls for it, I use this guy here, and it's really good, and it's a great deal. Like the price of it, SIR Audio Tools standard clip. So this is a great, awesome. I think a soft clip, I'll like maybe maximum go like 10% on that. If I'm going to use soft clip. And then there's also like hard clip. Yeah, you can hard clip stuff, 6 dB, 2 dB. I find myself like, you know, using this very softly. And then I also use it with a ton of, like I'll go 16 times over sampling because I feel like that it just sounds way better when you bounce it offline at 16 times. So that's my soft clipper of choice. And I use it at the very end. I use it after limiting and everything. Anton, what's up, man? Bought the masterclass, dope. The platinum from Waves 99 not too long ago, and now they are a buy to get to. I think SSL and yeah, what's the question? I love Waves plugins. They're dope. I use them all the time. You'll find you'll find Waves plugins in basically everything I do. Like the API stuff is great. Love this API stuff. I don't know if I could live without the API EQ stuff. 550Bs, 550As, that stuff, amazing. Their new SSL plugins are amazing. The EV series, love them. So yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. You can see the master augs. I got a variable mu on here. BX Digital just doing some cleaning. All this stuff is just temporary for now, right? It's doing a little stereo width. I'm not leaving this stuff. I don't just like set it and forget it. FG red, and then I'm gonna try actually bumping this Vertigo VSM3 on. Show you what that's doing. So it's cool. It kind of softens everything out a little bit, which makes the record a little less immediate, and that's kind of why it's been bypassed. But it does give a little bit more width, a little bit more depth. So once I put the vocals in, then I'll make the decision of whether I'll use that or not. The Oxford Inflator, I think, is doing way too much here. I'm going to put the band split on, and I'm going to take this down as well. I just have this on. It's not like, final or anything. I'm just popping these on and kind of tweaking them as I go. So that's more of a starting point for me with the inflator, just so you guys are aware. I'm going to set that to 0 as well. You can also clip the input when you have clip at 0 dB on. So that sounds like this. But I am so far from the mastering stage on this record. I'm just getting things going through my vibes. So I'm not even going to worry about that. And you notice like I don't have a limiter on at all. The only compression I have is the variable mu and the FG red. And these are probably just tickling, these are not for levels. Okay, so I'm going to try and get my gain throughout the process of mixing. I'm not going to, throw it all on the master bus, try to get it as loud as possible. I don't even have the vocals in right now. You know what I mean? That's a big issue, I think, with amateur mixers. They try to rush to the finish line really, really quick. But what I'm trying to do right now is just set the tone, get balances, get things sounding like, oh, this is good. This is congruent. The drums are starting to hit. The room and the space around things is starting to take shape. Now I have a nice foundation and bed to throw the vocals down on, okay? So I'm going to start importing some vocals, the fun part, right? So I got basically my rhythm instruments down. And for punk rock, it's literally bass, drums, guitar. Typical, that's a typical rhythm track. We can also bring in the hi-hats and all that stuff, but I'm going to bring in the vocals first. That's what I'm going to do. And you notice I don't even have all my stems in yet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like not even there yet. So let's grab some vocals here. Okay, so I ran out of room. Should I go for those compressors? SSL bus and API 2500. Yeah, I mean, they're great compressors. Like, you can't go wrong with them. But if you want something that has a little more to it, I would go with like the API mastering channel, like get a channel strip so you get some EQ, you get some widening, you get some compression. If you get the 2500, you're just getting compression. If you get the SSL, you're just getting compression, right? So maybe look for a strip, like a channel strip that you can get a little more bang for your buck. That's what I'd recommend. All right, so every time I bring in a stem, I just mark it, I tag it red in the Finder. So you can see there's just a ton of stems that still need to be put in. But the way that I'm doing this one is I'm just kind of bringing them in as I go. So verse vocals, let's pop this guy in and throw it down. And then what I'll do is I'll just duplicate this track, and then we'll start to put in the other vocals. Now, of course, I can just grab all these vocals and just pop them in. That's fine too, you know. So, for example, like I could just go bam and then say, hey, let's grab the rest of the vocals and drop them in. And then we can copy down plugins and stuff. That's totally fine too. You can do whatever you want with your stems and how you do stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line this stuff up. It's got woes here. That's cool. This guy looks like it's part of the verse. Looks like a double, like a stack here, which is kind of weird to me. If I'm going to stack, I'm going to double twice at least, right? And then usually with like stems like this, I could see they're pretty low compared to like rhythm guitars and stuff. I might bump them up a little bit, like give them like, you know, 6 dB, something like that, 3 to 6. I mean, this has a lot of headroom on it. You can tell there's a lot to mess with here because like there's nothing on it, right? So very, very, very unprocessed, uncompressed, and lots of headroom. So that's good. That's good for us. We got a lot to work with when we work with these vocals. But I'd imagine this is a double of this vocal. So what I end up doing is like looking at these and going, okay, are these lined up? Because if they're not lined up, that's the first thing I want to do is line these up, okay? So for these, for example, like I'll go like that and I'll hit B and I'll just like line these up, or I'll listen to these and see what these sound like. And this is going through the Vox Mix. So we're going to take everything through Vox Mix. And I have some plugins on here, part of my template for rock. You know, I got templates for everything because I've mixed so many, like I've literally mixed thousands of records by now, okay? So I'm just like bam, 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 right? So I got my Vox Verb, vocal parallel compression, got fattening, got vocal reverb, okay? So I got 2 different vocal verbs, right? And you can see they're both sending a little bit. So all of my effects and my reverbs, you're gonna see vocal P comp down here. We gotta turn it on. It's a 33609, right? Neve, which has a really good mid-range. Like it's gonna push the mids forward. Really, really beautiful. You got a Vox Reverb, which is the Abbey Roads plate here. This is all for rock stuff that I'm doing, right? The fattening, okay? This is a fun chain. I love it. It's got the doubler 2, the Q4, and the S1 imager spreading a little bit more. So I'm going to tuck this high end back a little bit because I don't usually like that much high end on my fattening. And all of this is going to the all Vox bus, right? And then vocal verb here. This is my second vocal verb, which you know I'm using. So turn it on. And this is a, looks like a filter. So I'm just filtering the top and bottom. And an EMT 140, which is pretty classic plate, a lot like the Abbey Road plates, okay? It's probably actually modeled after those same plates. Okay, and then that's going to the master augs, but what I want that to go to is the all Vox. Because the all Vox, everything vocal reverbs, vocal parallel, vocal everything, anything that is going to be a vocal in the end needs to go to the all vocals so I can mute that all vocals and I have no vocal remnants, no vocal reverbs, delays, anything, right? So, and that's up here, right? So if I scroll up, that's what this looks like. That's these all vocals, right? And this all vocals goes to the master bus. But if I want like the lead to go through the mix bus for the vocals, then it hits the vocal mix bus first, okay? So vocal mix bus goes to the all vocals as well. Hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, you know, sorry. I'm not going to sit here and explain all my buses. Okay, so yeah, so let's go back to the vocals. Here's the vocals. Let's make sure we have our vocal mix bus. Let's find that guy because we need that guy. Where is he? The all Vox. We got all instrument mix, vocal mix. Okay. So I'm going to take the vocal mix bus. I'm just going to bring it down to the vocals. Just something I do when I start to mix vocals or put anything into vocals. I want to see and hear and be able to move stuff quick. Okay. So I'm going to turn on this FG Gray, which again is just like an SSL style compressor on thick mix. And then I probably tweak the crap out of it. And then that goes to a rear bus as well. This rear bus kind of fattens things up. So the rear bus is sending basically everything to a 1176, okay? 1176 that's crushing, and then I blend into the full mix. It's like a back bus, like a rear bus, right? So now I have everything going on these vocals. Let's just listen to the lead only. Let's mute all the other guys. And that's typically how I do it. I mute all the stems and I pop them in one at a time and work them into the mix, okay? It's like making dough. You know, you like put a little flour in, then you knead it in, and then you're like, you know, it needs a little salt, and then you pop some salt in, and then you knead it in, and then, you know, a little water because the dough's getting a little dry, you know? It's a lot like cooking. Like, mixing is a lot like chefing, for sure. If you guys have any questions along the way, please drop them in the chat. That's why I'm streaming my mixes, because I want you guys to learn from what I'm doing, you know, and be able to use these techniques if you want to. And if you don't want to, then that's cool too, you know. I don't care. Do whatever you want. So this has got a little boost at 130 and a boost at 1K. I don't want any of that happening. I don't even know yet, right? I don't know if I even want that. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to put a Pro Q on here just because I know right away I'm going to want a high pass filter. And I'll probably want it all the way up to at least 100. Okay. And then the VMR, it looks like I got some FG stress, which I love on vocals, especially fast vocals. It's just a fast compressor. And then it looks like some knee VQ. Knee VQ pushing 90. Yeah, I'm going to take that back a little bit. 3.2, nothing going on. Nothing. There's nothing else going on. There's a little bit of sweep there, okay? Not a whole lot. And then we got a de-esser. So let's check it out. Let me mute my microphone, because nobody wants to like hear doubles going through. That's annoying. It's so hard sometimes when you're doing this live and you're like trying to juggle all these windows. Yo, what's going on, man? Okay. Where is the microphone? Here we go. All right, here it comes. I mean, right away, that vocal sounds pretty damn good just going through what I have here, right? So let's just bring it to volume is what we really need to do. Okay, I see what's going on. So I basically have some volume automation that I need to kill, right? And you can kill this volume automation, or you could just turn the automation off for now. And that's usually what I'll do, just because it's from a different session. So just turn it off, and then that way I can kind of bring this gain up, because I feel like it needs to be a lot higher. And remember, we have a double here that we're going to align as well. I just want to make sure that this all sounds right. It's a cool vocal too. I'm liking it.
Define the truth.
Okay, so we can hear like some like, you know, mouth clicky stuff. Zoom way in on the waveform, and I'm just going to chop out some of this stuff, right? Fade, give me that breath, because breath is cool in punk rock. You definitely don't want to get too edited in punk rock, you know what I'm saying? Like, you start taking stuff out, and it's like, this isn't Katy Perry, bro. Like, we're not making a Rihanna record. We want people yelling and shit. It's like the new Machine Gun Kelly, like pop punk stuff. It's like, it's almost too clean, too perfect, you know? It's like, I'm so punk rock, but I'm really pop. Like, it's super pop. But yeah, so I'm not going to hate on that though, because I think it's, you know, it's cool that they're basically rebuilding Blink-182. That's what it sounds like to me. All right, so I'm going to, after the de-esser, I'm going to throw an 1176 on here. I love the 1176. If you ever work with anyone that doesn't love the 1176, leave the room. Get the fuck out of there, because that ain't a mixing engineer. That guy's a critic. I don't know who doesn't love an 1176.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation.
Okay, so that's a vibe right there to me. Let's check the vocal parallel compression, and let's see if we can get a little more sauce out of that, because I feel like we want a little more of that. And let's make sure it's crushing right.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation.
All right, that sounded pretty damn good, just as a starting point, right? So I do want a little bit more roughness, a little bit more distortion, stuff like that, but I'm just setting levels and making sure that the vocal's sitting where it needs to sit.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation.
All right, that sounded pretty cool. It's a little chunky in here. I'm just going to clear it a little bit.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation.
Cool. Now I want to find, leave it there. That's good. I'm not gonna fuck with it too much here. Okay, now let's pop this double in here, and all we want to do is literally just copy down what we got here. Or of course you could just save this as a track preset, which would probably be the smarter move, right? Like, so go in here, right click, save as a track preset. It's a really great vocal start, right? So punk vox start 1. That's what I'm gonna call it, because that's what I'm going to do. All right, bam. Now I can just go in here and go, okay, let's recall my my vocal punk shit, punk vocal start. There we go. Now we got a good start for a punk vocal. Let's hear it.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation.
Okay, so the issue right there, I mean, you guys tell me. What's the issue right there? Like, when you hear those vocals together, what do you automatically think? I want to see what you guys think, because I have literally instinctual, you hit a hammer on my fucking knee, like my foot's gonna kick, you know what I'm saying? What's your first instinct when you hear those vocals together? Come on, drop it in the comments. First person to get it right, I'm gonna send them $5. You guys should be fucking tipping me, bro. What's going on? Sitting here giving you guys game. You guys should be dropping super chats on me. But yeah, let's see if anyone can get it. All right, I'm gonna play it again. First, what's your first instinct? There you go, dude. Fraser. Done. See that? He goes, dude, you said $5? That's what's up. Exactly. Phasing. Nailed it, dude. So anytime like you have a vocal double, it was recorded with the same mic through the same preamp, through the same everything, because people just don't know what they're doing nowadays, and that's okay. I'm not blaming you guys. I'm not saying like you guys are a bunch of idiots. This is just part of the game. Like if you use the same mic on the same vocal in the same way, regardless of whether you're doubling it and you're singing it different, whatever. Where the money? Send me an email, bro. I'll give you your $5. I can't give you $5 through here. Here you go, dude. If you do this and you have the same setup, like you're going to get phasing issues. So change the mic, change the position of the mic, put it somewhere else in the room, turn it a little bit, back up off the mic, do something different, right? Like that's how you stay away from phasing. But I have to fix that in mixing. That's my job, right? So my job is to always fix the phasing and fix any issue. Like mixing engineers, this is what we do. We don't just mix. We don't just, we're just mixing. That's all we're doing. We're going to mix your record. I wish, dude. Why do you think I charge like $400 bare minimum to mix a record? Because I'll spend hours and hours and hours fixing your guys' bad recordings. Like that's really the biggest thing. And that's editing. That's not mixing. You know, so we have to charge that for our time. Okay, so I digress. How do we do this? So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to Audio Suite. And of course, you know, I've spent God knows how much money. I don't even really want to think about it in plugins and things that fix this kind of stuff, right? So Vocal Line Project 5, we're going to use this first. We're going to take it and we're going to align these doubles and this stack. And that way they are, they're in sync. So the guide, capture it. And now the dub, capture it. And because this is punk rock, I want to go a little bit looser on this. I'm going to go maybe like 11 milliseconds. Let's go 10. 9 is good, sure. Split the difference. All right, you can see the differences and how it's going to line it. You hit render. Okay, that's first step. That's step 1 right there, right? So let's hear it now.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation.
Pretty good, but still phasing, right? So now what we want to do is let's label this vocal double, and then dash verse. Now, obviously, I would usually do this all as its own process and then mix the record, but I'm just kind of showing you guys like some stuff while I'm doing it. So this is vocal lead. We could say just vocal dash verse. Okay. Now we have, this is the auto line or vocal line. Now we want to auto align it. So now we're going to pick the double, the stack. We're going to go to Audio Suite. Here's another one I spent $350 on that gives you 1 license, right? But is well worth it and has saved my life. Auto align post 2. Okay. Let this open up. These are the details, guys. This is the shit that you pay people like me for. You pay professionals for because they're going to take care of this kind of stuff. Dude, the guy you're going to pay $200 to mix your record is not doing this shit. He doesn't even know about this shit. He's like still reading and watching tutorials on YouTube trying to figure out how he can make your mix better. You give him $200, he's spending that $200 on plugins that he doesn't have so he can finish your record. And basically experiment on your song. Okay, so I'm going to pick static because the mic's not moving. We're going to do a spectral, okay? And then we're going to visualize it. And I'm going to show you what this does. Oh, no sidechain. That's not how it works. Okay, so vocal verse, we have to pick that as a sidechain. So vocal verse, sidechain, and that's how you do that. And then we're going to visualize. Now, what you're going to see here is you're going to see the time differences, okay? And you're also going to see the delay offset of 135 samples. And if we go in here, you can see this aligning the phase to a spectral amount, which is absolutely amazing, right? It's literally going to find exactly where the phase happens on a spectral level, okay? See that? It's like finding the phase, right? Now let's render it. Okay, now we got that rendered. Now let's listen.
To find the truth, the validation,
mean, get the fuck out of here, right? Like, just change the whole game. Okay, so now I like that idea. I've got it all tight. It's all fixed up, right? But it's not different enough. Like, these vocals are so similar that I want like a little bit more texture out of this double. And I might even want it to be a little bit wider or a little bit something, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try a doubler on it. Just pop on a doubler, right? Let's double it. Bam. And then let's throw on a Pensado preset because he's the man. And then like that. And then I think this is still in mono though. Let's try it in stereo. Let's try doing this with a stereo, mono to stereo. So now we're basically taking this mono signal into the doubler, coming out of it stereo. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. Pensado doubler, it saved my preset, all good. Now let's check this out.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation.
Pretty cool, right? Like, that's going to give us a little bit more vibe. It's also just kind of sounds more different.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation.
So it kind of makes it a little bit wider, a little thicker, a little gooier. We might want to now, try some stuff after the 1176. Maybe the double has a little bit less, first of all, like of the mid-range, right? And maybe it has a little less of the spit on the top. And maybe it has a little more punch at the bottom here, right? See what I'm doing? And then here, we might want to mess around with this distortion here and also take anything off here that we're doing on the other one. So maybe I'm ducking this 987 instead of boosting it. And then let's throw some distortion on it. Like, let's try like a decapitator on here, right? Decap. So we're going to decap this. Wait, where'd it go? There we go. All right, so now we're just going to give it just a little drive. We'll low cut it. We'll go tone a little bit. Let's go darker and go through that. And then we could even blend in the mix. So if we want to just blend in some distortion. Okay, let's check that out.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation.
Okay, and then another thing I don't want happening is I don't want S's coming through on the double. Okay, so we're just like really smashing the shit out of the double because that's what we want. We want it to be a double that's like thickening the vocal, making it wider. We don't want it to be another vocal on top of a vocal. People do that all the time. It doesn't work, guys. If you're going to double your vocal, double a left and double a right, okay? That's just my piece of advice to you. All right, so let's go split band on this, and you can always read about this. You can read about why with single vocals, wideband is the best, right? Generally sounds most transparent, so there you go wideband on it. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to 5.5 on this, 5.3, and I'm going to take this down to like 10K or so. I don't usually find much sibilance but above like 10, 11K.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive, and the explanation. the motive and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation.
So cool, it's starting to get cool. DS after this one as well. I do want some DSing. I might go a little less, right? And on this, after the DS, I want to do some distortion. So on here, I want to do the Saturn II. And I want to just push, actually, I'm not going to use the Saturn II. What I'm going to use, which I really love on these kind of ideas, is I love the drive on the retro color. Yo, what's up, the Future Sound Beat? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming through. What's up with y'all? Oh, we got 9 people in here. That's crazy. You guys really love mixing. All right, so turn off this, turn off this, turn off this, turn off everything, right? The only thing I'm going to use is possibly this down here. I'm going to do a little bit of widening here. I'm going to kill that. I don't want that. And then I'm going to use this guy. This is what I really want to get the tone out of.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. Moving forward, second guessing, the negative and all their blessing.
Okay, and then you can hear right here, this we didn't fix, right? So like, this is way punchier, fatter, more mid-range clarity, like right in your face, but this part gets phased again, right? So we have to make sure that we know which ones we've already corrected. So what I typically do is I just color them, right? Like I'll do like hot pink or something with the colors, right? So here you can go bam, and then you can go clips in track, bam, and then click on that and click that, and same thing here, right? Just go bam. And then that way I know like I fixed those. There's not tuning on this. I don't think I'll tune punk rock shit unless there's something like really out. Like it's got to be pretty out. Like I'm not trying to like hard tune you'll never do that. Like it'd be so funny to like tune the shit out of a punk rock vocal that's yelling. Like it'd be silly. You've got no room reverb or anything on the vocals. Can you talk on that? Yeah, I don't, you're not hearing the vocal reverb, because, it's very subtle, right? Like I haven't tuned in any vocal reverb. Also, like, I don't feel like there's a huge need for this like massive reverb on this kind of vibe. This is pretty punk rock, like in your face fast. So like doing a bunch of reverb on a fast punk rock song, I don't know about that. Plus I don't typically like reverb, like mess with reverb, delays, anything like that until I have shaped the EQ, the compression, the tonality of the vocal first, right? And where I want it to sit. So you are hearing a lot. You just don't know you're hearing a lot because I've been doing this a long time. So here, turn all of it off. Now you hear the same phrase and tell me what you think.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation.
All right, you get what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But yeah, you don't want to hear the reverb. Like when you hear the reverb, like you take people out of the track. You want them to feel the vibe of the record. So for me, if I'm using reverb, like in a deep, spacious mix that needs this like beautiful, lush reverb, then cool, yeah. But this is to find the truth. Like, what do you need? Like, to find the truth, truth. Like, no, dude, that'd be silly. I would like totally congest the whole record. So yeah, I'm not even to that point where I would want to do any spatial effects yet. Anyway, this is like the very beginning of a mix for me. Okay, so same thing here. I'd go through and I'd audio suite all that. But let's listen to these in-betweens because I feel like these are important, and I feel like also if we can, I'd like them to sit on the same tracks. I don't want this overlapping thing. You know what I'm saying? So like we could probably move these up, but let's see, because I think this is part of the lead is what I'm trying to say. Let's check it out.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. Moving forward.
Yeah, so this is like part of the lead, right? So here I'm going to clip this. I'm going to hit A and this part as well, and I'm going to bring it up. Yeah, bam, 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 B. And I'm going to go Command X, and I'm going to PAM. And I'm going to swing it back, and then I'm going to make my crossfade here. And that is how we do it, my friends. We do not want a bunch of different tracks with different shit on them, destroying our computers. All right, so let's get rid of this fade here. Delete that guy and just find a good spot for this. Then crossfade that. All right, so that's that lead, and then this guy needs to come up to this track. This is pretty basic stuff. You know, you want to make sure that your shit is all organized and you guys can move quick. Moving quick is an important part of this. I don't typically set up my own sessions, I'll be honest with you. But you know, as you can tell, I'm not like good at this part of it. But I'm really good at the artistic and the creative mixing side of things. You know, I've done it for a very long time. I've had a lot of success with it. So, okay. So now we get rid of that stuff. We go bam like that. And now let's hear these guys. And remember, these aren't hot pink because they haven't been vocal aligned and then auto aligned.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing. To find the truth, the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing.
So things like this, they're negative and all their blessing. Like this is, the timing is weird there. So I always correct that kind of shit, right? So if you go into 16th notes, you can start to see like where things are rushing and getting ahead or behind. So I definitely fix that. Here's what we're going to do. Next, we're going to go through these guys. Let's just go Audio Suite and grab these dudes. Synchro Arts, vocal line these motherfuckers. And so capture that, capture this guy. Dub. Kept it on 9, good. Render. Make sure that all sounds good.
Nation, you see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing.
Great. And then remember, we're going to grab this guy and we're going to go up here again. Yeah, I love Audio Suite. Audio Suite's the shit. Like that's one huge thing that that Pro Tools has over all these other DAWs. Just like the Audio Suite is so clean too. Like I know you can offline process with other DAWs. Yeah, but dude, it's not like Audio Suite. Audio Suite is so much better. Okay, so vocal verse, it's already there, right? So again, we can visualize, you can see that, and then you can see the offset, and then you can render it. And if you don't like the outcome, you can undo.
You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing. You see the world and all its problems. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation.
Okay, so I like how this is starting to sound. I just want to shape these vocals together a little bit more. You'll notice a lot of stuff starts to come up again because of the processing down here, so we want to clean it up.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing. To find the truth, the validation, see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing.
Just start to play a little cleanup. Like, I'm not trying to do a bunch, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're just trying to get some cleanup going. And then these vocals, they're like a little bit too much for me right now. So just gonna kind of back off that. Let's see if we go 100% on the mix here, what that sounds like.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing the negative and all their blessing. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward.
Cool. So those are like good for now. Like, that's kind of how you have to mix, because the mix is going to change as you add new elements in. And, you know, like, I don't have all the elements in, but for now, like, the vocals sound where they need to be, which is in the middle. They're taking up the most space. I don't have crazy reverbs or anything on them because I don't want to take up more space that's unnecessary to take up. But yeah, I like where they're sitting as of right now. So again, we need to color these because they are pink and they have been blessed. Bless you. All right. And then what we want to do is, because we already have these chains kind of figured out, we can go through and we can auto align and vocal align and do all that stuff with these, but I'm not going to bore the shit out of you guys because that is really boring to do on a live. Like, and then you melodyne, here you go to the note. Like, I don't know, man. Like, that's just not something I want to show you guys while I'm live. All right, so we do need to move these vocals up because I feel like what he did is he punched, like, you know, throughout the verse just to make sure he can do that. But we need to put all of these up here, right? So the best way to do that is you can turn on strip silence, which is, I think, Command U, and then you have all those chunks and you just strip them. There you go. And you're done with that. And then you just bring all these motherfuckers up there. Oops. We don't want to do it that way. Don't do it that way. All right, Command X, Command V, Command X, Command V. That's what we're going to do. Command X, Command V. And this is kind of like part of editing that I hate, but it's also like you got to find ways to do it quicker. So when you chunk out edits, you just got to chunk them out like that. Like, there you go. You're like, yeah, but look, they're all fucked up. Yeah, I know. That's how you do it, though. That's how you edit fast. And then you could go in there and you can, dial in all this, like plus 6 dB, go bam, bam, go here, go plus 6 dB, right? Here you go. And then you can also do your little fade stuff, right? Bam. Done. All right, so don't spend too much time like, finagling shit and like stripping away silence manually when you could just do it really quick, And hopefully like when you guys are on these lives, you're getting some of this game, because this is the stuff that really helps you like fly and like get better at this stuff. If you're ever working in a session with like an actual, label represented like bigger artist, if you can't fly on Pro Tools, you won't be invited to the room. Like some of you guys want to argue about like, oh yeah, you got to use Logic, you got to use this, you got to use that, bro. If you work in an industry, in the music industry, and you're gonna have sessions, whether it's in the film industry, TV, commercials, all that stuff, or it's in making records, writing songs, and being in the room with songwriters and songwriting camps and shit, you have to know Pro Tools. Sorry guys, like that's just part of the game. That's why they call it the industry standard. It's not because it's actually the industry standard. It's because most people are going to know Pro Tools when they're in writing rooms and shit, and they're going to want you to be a Pro Tools operator. And you got to be fast. You got to be able to record and save and edit and do all this shit really, really quick. This may not work, this part right here. I don't know. I think we have to probably have this on a separate track. He did like a run-on sentence kind of vibe here.
You let yourself down. Say what you mean what you say. You let yourself down. Say what you mean what you say.
Actually, I kind of like it better going right into that. I think it'll be weird. Just let yourself down. Mean what you mean. Like, we got to figure out how we can make that work. So, bam. Do it like that.
I want to let yourself down. Say what you mean what you say. Don't let them take your voice away. The meaning.
So, like in here, this might be a part that I do some tuning on, Like, let yourself down. Like, it has to be in tune. You can't be, He's just kind of like flat. So, yeah, that's important. Yeah, so he's, Anton, if you're in a session, you'll need to fly every major DAW, and Pro Tools is the shit. Yeah. I think Pro Tools mainly. I think you'd be surprised, Anton. Not a lot of people are like, yeah, man, come through and, run my Logic session from Capitol Records, bro. Like, more than likely they're going to be like, nah, we use Pro Tools, You could use whatever DAW you want, I'm sure, if you're up there. If you're Manny Marquine, you can decide, like, we're going to use FL Studio today, bro. Yeah, Randish, like, Pro Tools is just going to be the thing. Like, most artists, writers, like, especially in writing sessions, right? Like, you're in a writing session, you're going to get, like, writing camps and stuff. People are going to be running Pro Tools. Like, it'd be very rare that you'd walk into a room and they're like, bro, we're recording everything to FL Studio today for writing these songs for Rihanna. Like, nah, there's going to be beat makers and shit in the room, maybe with laptops running FL Studio, but the main DAW that you're tracking vocals on, editing vocals, and building out the demo for Rihanna is going to be Pro Tools. And every once in a while, it might be Ableton or Logic Pro, but it's usually Pro Tools. So get good at Pro Tools. Why wouldn't you? It's awesome. It's a great software. People hate on it on the internet because they don't know shit. Your life is miserable because you use Pro Tools. It's like, no, fuck you, dude. Pro Tools is fast. It's efficient. It's gotten so much better. It's like, yeah, it's fast with audio. Like, this shit is insane. Clip gain on every single clip. Like, bro, it's easy to use. It's good with plugins, with buses, mastering. Like, the audio is insane, dude. Like look at this. If I look at this waveform and I go way in on it, I can see every single detail of this waveform, all the way down to sample accuracy, and nothing shifts, nothing moves, nothing's weird. You try doing that on Logic Pro right now. You're going to see some weird shit. It's not going to go down to sample accuracy like this. It's not going to show you every single thing. You're not going to be able to go in and go like, yo, I'm going to take my pencil tool and I'm just going to redraw this part right here. You can't do this in Logic. You can't do this in other DAWs. This Pro Tools has mastered audio. Okay, you guys? Just like if you go into a film session and they're editing a film, a major film, not your dad's film or your homie's film making business, a major fucking Hollywood film, it's going to be edited on Avid. Okay? I'm just trying to tell you guys, like, it's on Avid. And when you go into a major scoring session, they're recording on Pro Tools. I've been in many major recording sessions for films. The Vacation movie, the Lego movie, all sorts of shit. They use Pro Tools because Pro Tools has HD rigs and you need to sync up multiple machines to work with each other. One's running a fucking orchestral set where you're running 90 pieces of orchestra. Another might be running a full sample suite, right? Now, computers are getting faster and faster, don't get me wrong, but bro, Pro Tools, this is how it works. You know, you can see everything. Like, this is the audio. This is the audio. Like, you have to be able to see everything. See that? That right there is an S or a T. It's very, very obvious. Every other DAW is not going to have that kind of precision with audio. Oh, and then also a clip gain right there to do whatever you want with. Like, come on. And then Audio Suite where you can just offline whatever. Like, I can go in here and go, hey, I want to offline process this with this plugin to make it, you know, do skip a beat or slow down or speed up or whatever, right? You could do offline processing on everything. So I'm not trying to like pitch you guys on Pro Tools. I'm just letting you know, like, there's a reason why people use it for record labels, for sessions, for scoring sessions, because it's fucking good. Like, stop reading all the internet bullshit and acting like you guys know what you're talking about. I saw a meme from a guy that makes beats and got some plaques. Like, who fucking cares? The guy doesn't have a career in music. He's been in music for 4 years. He's got 2 records. You know, like, just don't believe the hype, guys. And I'm not trying to hype up Pro Tools either. Like, there's a lot of problems with it. I don't like to produce in Pro Tools. You know, some people do. Like, I know a lot of pop writers and stuff that use Pro Tools because they just learned it, how to produce with it, and they use samples and they like place the samples on the grids and shit. I can't do that, bro. Like, I need MIDI. I need to be able to like mess around with Arturia and like fuck around with MIDI and tweak shit, you know? So I use Logic Pro for that. Like, I use Logic Pro to score and to produce. And I use Pro Tools for what Pro Tools is really good with, is audio. So I edit and I mix and I master in Pro Tools. So that's it. All right, so I'm just going through. I'm just like popping all these up here. Bam, bam, you know. Getting all these edits in. Boring, I know. But it's got to be done. Someone's got to do it. You know, if you want to be my guy to set this up and do this stuff, you got a lot of experience editing and setting up sessions in Pro Tools and Logic Pro, hit me up. I might have a job for you. Just saying. Might have a job for you. See, most people be like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. Even though they have no credits, no experience, they couldn't be bothered. That's why people don't get into the music industry, why they never make a living. Because they want to sit in their room and play. They don't want to actually do the work. I ain't trying to be mean, guys. I'm just talking the real shit. That's what you guys come here for, right? Are you not entertained? Is that not why you are here? I love that quote. All right, so I'm just going to bring all this up to 6 dB and get all of it matched up. Bada bing. I'm probably doing this a slow way. I'm sure like someone that really knows Pro Tools like, dude, you're an idiot. Just hit this and hit that, you know? But that's kind of the downfall of bouncing between Pro Tools and Logic Pro all the time. Okay, so I'm going to delete this. I'm going to get rid of any tracks that I'm not using because I don't want to use up CPU and all that shit. These are my vocals. These are my main verse vocals. So that's what I should lock in on. And then these are the main, it looks like chorus vocals. So let's grab all these and run them through the vocal mix bus real quick and just see where these are at. And then also we can copy down vocal verb on all these. Let's just do this just for now. And fattening for now. I don't want anything else. Just grab all these guys. Just to have a vibe here. And just to hear these. So I'm noticing I'm missing like the lead. Well, you got nowhere to go. Oh, like it has like a repeat thing. So I heard that in the reference up here. When you got nowhere to go. Okay, so that those parts I need to find those because obviously they're not in this session. Is this shit really live? Yeah, man. This is live shit, bro. How you like that? Do you guys like the lives? Do you like the live mixing, live producing, live? I just like wondered if you guys were even into it because, you know, I thought of like, I'm always working on records, mixing, producing, whatever. And, you know, if you guys dig it, you want me to like do these lives and just talk shit on them and show you guys what I'm doing. I'm definitely down to do these more often. It kind of slows my workflow down, obviously, because I am like talking and I can't help but like, it's just in my blood and my nature to want to teach like, yeah, and then this is how you do this, you know? But yeah, if you guys dig it, like definitely I'll do it more. But y'all gotta fucking share the channel, man. Like, you can't come in here and just like steal all game and like get a bunch of shit and like get all this for free and then be like, all right, cool. Yeah, thanks, man. You know, like you got to share this. You got to share this. You got to fucking support the channel. You know what I mean? You got to subscribe. You got to tell people about it. You know, I'm not asking you guys to pay me a bunch of money or anything. You know how much I charge, like do a mix and then like screen cap it like this and show step by step and then give it back to a client. Like that's like $1,500, you know, easy. So I don't take that lightly. Just you talking about the sequence you process in has been going good. Yeah, you guys just like the video, share it, drop comments, you know, spread the love. Like I'm trying to build the YouTube channel, you know, because the way that my business works, and I think any modern music business is, I'm going to get records no matter what. Like I have clients that I've worked with for 5 years, 10 years, you know, I got labels that I work with. I got all sorts of things that I'm doing with different people. That's fine. But the way that you connect with new people and different artists and like shit that you want to work on, this is how you have to do it now. You have to be on the internet. You got to be in the rooms, in the studios, you know, you got to be in the writing sessions. You got to be shaking hands. But that's really why I do it. So like you guys, anytime you help, you know, by hitting a thumb up and like commenting and saying, yo, really love the live, thanks so much. Or, you know, sharing this shit right now to like your Instagram and going, yo, you guys should tap in with this. He's like live streaming, mixing and mastering, or, you know, check out Radium Records, you know, YouTube. Like that shit helps us connect with more people that we can work with like on records and make cool shit with, you know what I mean? And that's really why I do it. Obviously, like I love like teaching as well, or else I wouldn't be doing master classes and shit. I would just be like getting mixes and getting productions and fucking doing them. Like, so much easier to do this without talking through it, just so you guys know. like, oh yeah, let me show you what I'm doing and talk you through every step. Like, bro, I'd literally be halfway through this mix right now if I wasn't on this live talking through it. Okay, so let's get into these guitar chugs. I got so many things on here that I could just get rid of, right? Like, these are all from, just so you guys know, these are from like my template. So every time I make a new session, like if I'm doing punk rock or if I'm doing trap or if I'm doing, you know, reggae or rock or whatever, I use that template. And, you know, sometimes that template has a bunch of stuff in it that I don't really need. Like, I don't need a guitar solo bus. There's no guitar solo in this, right? I do like this slap. This slap is really dope. Check this out. So slap, and then I can actually like send the vocal to the slap. I just want to show you this effect because it's dope. Little slap effect, slap delay vibe. So obviously it's like not right for this record, but it's a really, really cool vibe. And this BBD delay that's just like literally comes with Pro Tools. So good. Such a good delay. And then just EQ, man. Very simple. Simple shit, man. But yeah, you know, just bam, turn them off, bypass it. You could even say, hey, let's make this guy inactive. All right, rear bus. This is what the rear bus is doing, right? It's cranking on this guy. Like, just look what that does. Like, you feel the low end. Like, the low end just kind of... It's like, I'm here, bitch. I'm here. I'm your low end rear bus, ho. And then the Devil Lock, of course, is just insanely cool. So I got all these, like, different buses that I mess with, you know. And then, like, you know, for the Devil Lock, you could totally take, like, for example, these guitar leads, and you could just send it to the Devil Lock. And check out what this does. Just kind of makes the guitars pop more. Just like give this chunky vibe. Check it out. Kind of makes everything just jump out of the speakers. But you got to be careful with the Devil Lock because, you know, it'll start to take over the vocals, right? So that's why it's bypassed for now. Sorry, Devil Lock. You didn't make the cut, bro. But it could also be cool, like, to throw the vocals through it, right? Just push a little bit forward. Vibes like that, man. I love channels like that. I'll spend a lot of time designing that kind of stuff. And then these room mics and the tambourines and all that, I'm just going to delete these. Don't need them. So I'm starting to like kind of clean up the session so that I can see more of what I'm doing. All right. I'm going to get back to the vocals and figuring out where those chorus vocals are. But what I'll do here is I'll just duplicate this guy because I know that I'll need this track for like the chorus vox. So I'm just going to put chorus vox -1 just so I have it. And we'll put it down here because it kind of goes with these woes. And let's look in the Finder and make sure. So we got verse vocals, we got rhythm guitar, lead guitar, harmonies. That's probably what these are. Here we go, chorus vox. So chorus vocals, chorus backups, all this stuff all needs to come in along with the harmonies. Bam. And I think that's all the vocals. That's a lot of vocals, right? So you can see like what I have to do with every single vocal stem. And you can understand why you pay people to do this because you could do that yourself, right? If you don't have a bunch of experience with it, it's going to take you a lot of time. It's going to take you a shit ton of time, and you're probably going to fuck it up. Let's be real. Like, you probably screw some things up. It'll probably be like, oh, that was all right. I did it. You know, does it sound better? I don't know. Sounds better, I think. I don't even see that there's like chorus vocals here. Oh, that's why. Okay. But you know, you could do that yourself. I'm showing you guys how to do it. It's not hard. It's tedious, but it's not hard. But to get good at it, to get fast at it, that's the hard part. And if you want to do this at a professional level, you could spend like so much time doing it. Like, you could seriously like, oh, I'm going to tune these vocals. I'm going to auto align them. I'm going to vocal line them. I'm going to go through the whole process of everything. And it still could be like, yo, that's all right. I mean, it's not the best. I did my best, but it's still not very good. You know, and that's why people go, hey, Bradley, if I give you this much money, will you make my record a record instead of the demo that it is right now? You know? And I go, is the track cool? And if the track's cool and, you know, you got the money and you're committed and you're going to want to like make something dope and you're going to put it out and you're going to market it, you know, and you look at it as a business, then fuck yeah, I'm going to be like, hell yeah, let's do this. But if you hit me up and you're like, bro, we need to work together, bro. Man, there's so many people out there like that. Like, y'all ain't doing shit. It's always those guys or those girls like, we need to work. Like, they're the ones that like aren't doing shit. They're not working. They're putting out mixtapes on SoundCloud. Nobody's listening to their music. They don't invest any money in themselves or their music, which to me means you just don't believe in your music. It's like, if you don't believe in it, why the fuck should I believe in it? Why should I work on your project? Be silly. All right, so you can see like, whoa, he's got so many stacks. But let's make sure that we have, that these are all right. Okay, cool. So they're all cool. They're all the right thing. But you can see we have to like go through and make sure that these are all in phase. They all got to be lined up. All of these got to be lined up. The harmonies need to be lined up. Everything. These harmonies down here, they all need to be processed probably a little bit. It depends. We can maybe even process through buses. Like, for example, I'll take these woes and I'll probably build a new bus for these. So let's do that now. So vocal woes, right? Vox woes bus. And then that woes bus, to all my woes, we're going to go to the vocal mix bus, right? But now I can at least, like, check this out. If I go in here and let's play this, this is the woes going through the bus. So a lot of people start putting like an EQ and a filter on every single one of these tracks when you can just put them all through a bus. Put all that on there, compress them all together if you need to, EQ again if you need to, send them to a reverb. You don't need to go and like put a million plugins on each one of these woes, is my whole point. Okay, so the next thing I want to do with this is I think I just want to I want to pan it out, like make sure that all these parts have a place for themselves, right? So maybe it's this guy goes like 14, this guy goes 14, you know, something like that. 11, sure. Something just out of the middle. And then these guys can go a little wider, like maybe 78, right? And just doing some panning will make a world of a difference. Okay, so that's kind of the vibe. It's hanging left, and the reason it's hanging left is because the one on the left is hitting first. You see that? So you have to really make sure that everything lines up nicely so that you get that big sound. Anytime something hits your ear first, it's going to sound like lopsided. right? So this is on the left, so it's hitting your ear first, and you could see it's actually hitting your ear first the whole time, right? It's just like a head. So what I want to do there is just make sure that that happens on all these. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. It looks like all of these are just a little bit ahead on besides there, right? So I got to pay attention to all this stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to blade it here, and then I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to just hang these back, right? So bam, and then I'm going to hang that back. All right, and then that way things are lining up a little bit better. You could always tab to transients, you know, I'm tabbing to transients, tab, tab, tab. And that's if the tab to transients is on. Or right here, this is the tab to transients. All right, and you can just tab through your transients. And that way you can see kind of like where those are starting. But of course you could use vocal line like I've been using. You could do this manually where you can literally line up everything. Because this is a group kind of shout, I don't want these perfectly aligned, you know. They don't need to be perfectly aligned, but they do need to be perfectly in phase, right? So for that, I'll just kind of go here and I'll blade this. And I'll go all the way down, and then I'm just hitting A on there, and it's just cutting all to the left. And then for this, I can say, hey, this is going to be my lead, right? So this is where all my timing should be referenced on this lead one, right? Whoa! You know, this shit right here. Okay, so let's go to Audio Suite and say this is vocal woes. Let's just call it -1. My vocal woes. And then we're going to go in here and we're going to grab our auto align post again. And we'll go here to static. And now what I can do is I can just get these at least in phase, which means they won't line them up perfectly, but they'll line the phase perfectly. So it will actually go in and align the phase wherever the phase offset is. Okay, so it's going to lock it in, which brings our mid-range back. Okay, so visualize it. You don't have to visualize, by the way, but 253, and you can render it. Oops, I did that so wrong. I'm so sorry. The reason I did that wrong is because this is still looking at the vocal verse. So you need to go to the vocal woes 1-1, what we just made, and make sure you're selecting one of the doubles, and then you can go visualize. So minus 605 samples, render it, right? And now we can go through every single one of these and we can do that same exact thing. So render. You don't even have to visualize. You just grab it, render it. Boom, 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 boom. This is where I need 2 screens. All right, now let's listen to these in phase at least with each other. All right, so now we can start popping the chorus vocals together, right? So we already saved this, I believe, but let's make sure. Just to make sure, we'll call this chorus box 1. Let's call this chorus chant vox. -1, just so that we know. Very different. All right, and then we're going to recall track presets and go chorus, chant, vox 1. And on this, we'll actually make inactive, right? So we don't have any of that active. And let's check this guy out. And maybe we do this just on these two, the same, right? So the left and the right here. Yeah. So we'll go like left a little bit, and we'll go right a little bit. I'll go recall track preset. Chorus chant vox 1. And of course it just resets it. It's duh, Bradley. All right, and then let's check those out with the stuff we got. You can also make sure that you hit follow main pan on all of these sends. So this way, anytime you're panning left or right, it's going to follow the main pan with where it's sending as well. And that can help you get more space, more separation and stuff in your mix. Kind of important, not super important, but for some processors it is. All right, so let's listen to that. Oh, another thing, we probably want to go... Nah, we'll check this out first.
When you're feeling all alone.
Okay, so these guys probably do need to be aligned. As far as like the double, like these lead ones, they also need to be cleaned up. You see all this stuff here? So to clean them up, that's really easy. We're just going to go in here, chop all these. We're going to go Command U, and then we're going to strip the silence off of them. Just because like these are really messy, and like, I don't know. I just, this is kind of part of it, but bam. And then we just strip that. And then that way we got all that stripped, and then you can literally just hit F, and that's going to leave fades on everything. We'll do that for this as well. Strip it. I always just like rough it out, and then I go back and check it because you might strip out too much. Or you might get weird little bits like this. So get rid of that guy. And just make sure that you put fades on everything. Always fade. Don't be lazy. Like, that's one thing I think, like, in music, like, you can't be lazy, dude. Not when making records. If you're going to make professional records, you have to have, like, this, like, really clear, precise mind. Like, I'm typically, like, working out. I'm caffeinated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not drinking or smoking too much. Like, I'm really staying away from all that shit when I'm trying to engineer. Like, you can't be fast and efficient with all that. You can make beats. You could be creative. You can, fuck around in the studio. But, like, to make records, like professional records, you don't see Manny Marquine, like, or Jason Joshua, like, just toking up in the studio, like, yeah, bro, mixing this record, bro. Yeah, fuck, man, give me that Henny. Oh, yeah. Let me mix this record. Yeah, throw a Fairchild 660 on that bitch. Like that. This is not happening. Like, I don't think he'd be half as good as if that's how it worked. Like, if you want to be mixing and shit, nah, you can't be fucked up all the time. That's why rappers got the easiest job, man. They come in, they rap a little bit, and they're like, yeah, finish it for me. Make it dope for me. You're like, God damn. This shit's terrible, but I guess I'll make it dope for you. I guess I'll sit here and spend the 3 days on it, and then they come back and they're like, yo, I did that shit. Did it all on my own. You're like, God damn it. So this is this process, right? This is how you do it.
When you're feeling all alone. When you've got nowhere to go. If you're lost
Okay, so you see also he's got harmony stacks all the way through all the verses. See all that? So, man, like there's a lot to do here with the vocals, which means everything needs to be aligned. Everything needs to be in phase, perfectly phase aligned. Everything's got to be timed out. It's got to be great. It's got to be on the grid nicely, at least like sitting where it needs to sit in the track. Everything's got to be cleaned up. All the breaths, all the headphone bleed, all that stuff. I do all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what you pay for when you're paying for an engineer. You're not just paying for me to go throw a bunch of presets on here. That's just not how it works. You know, at this level of mixing, when I'm done with this record, it's gonna sound 10 times better than whatever demo I got here. You know, like, I mean, come on, let's just listen to the verse here and compare it to the reference, and then I'm gonna take an ear break and get out of here, guys.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world, its problems and never know.
I mean, shit, like when I turn the reference on, it just hurts my ears. It's just like, oh God, so much like penny high end just fucking your face, you know? Like when I'm done with this, it's gonna sound like a record, like glued, fat, full, thick, punchy. It's gonna be clear, it's gonna have some like brilliance on it, but it's gonna be the kind of brilliance that's like silky on the ears, you know what I mean? And nice distortion, like in your face guitars, shit popping in and out, you know? It's gotta be full. This shit just sounds like someone just threw it through a filter, put a limiter on it, and then threw an exciter on the master bus, and it's still hanging left. Like, listen to the reference.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems.
Like, it's all hanging left, like, yeah, like all over here. Like, we've already got that problem a little bit more managed.
To find the truth, the validation, the motive and the explanation. You see the world and all its problems and never know which way to solve them. Moving forward, second guessing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, shit sounds like it's coming through a phone, even on $10,000 speakers. All right, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me talk shit. And hopefully you actually got something out of this live as well. Appreciate you guys coming through. Share the channel. The podcast just dropped today. You guys should check that out. I talk about the new Mac Studio, why or why not you should get one, etc. Plugins I've been working with, all that stuff. So go check out the podcast. Share it. Drop some love on it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in.